Hi guys! It's time to refresh some of my dish gardens. It is a little chilly today, so I'm going to try to work fast and get my little succulents back into the warm house. But these dish gardens look a lot worse for the wear, and I noticed that on my plant tour. In fact, this one isn't even in the soil. As you can see, it's not even rooted out, but it still looks good. So it's going to receive its own pot. It's kind of outgrown the dish garden situation, and that's what dish gardens are about. You're always having to reevaluate your combination of plants, take out ones that aren't doing so well or don't play well with others, and do some rearranging. And these are a couple of years old, and I think the soil is pretty spent. So my plan is to remove the plants and put them aside and put the old soil into my compost heap and just do a complete new refresh of soil. So this spring they can start sending out healthier roots. I'm going to start taking my plants out one by one, and they're all just kind of on the surface here, not very strong roots, although they look okay. I'll be removing some of the dried up foliage as well, just kind of neatening everything up. These are doing really well. They have some hard water stains on them, but this type of aloe is doing really well. I think that I'm going to combine everything into this one larger one. I think it looks nice for a dish garden to be really full. As you can see, that's the only one that was even rooted in anymore. So I feel good that I'm giving all these beautiful plants a chance to revive and live a better life in some more nutrient-rich soil. And then the last one here, I don't think this works in my dish garden anymore. As you can see, it's just trailing upside down. But like I said, spring has brought out some new growth on here. So I'm going to dig that out, and that is going to receive its own pot. And I'm going to combine that with these. And these were my neglected little seedlings. So I'm going to put those together. So the old soil has been dumped out, and I'm going to put in this mix of oyster shell, got plenty of that in there, and a seed starting mix, which is good for root development, and then just a regular potting soil with some for 9 months fertilizer. So it's not organic, but that's okay. We're not eating these succulents, we're just planting them up, and I think at this point they could benefit from some nutrients. But it's a nice, well-draining mix. It's not going to become compacted because I have this Manna Pro oyster shell. And everything that I have planted in this, well, I mix it with dirt, of course. Everything I've planted in this has done really well. One thing that's so important with succulents is to have that drainage. So that's why I have incorporated it into all of my repotting. So I think this is going to be a great soil choice. And I just have a few more of these to get out. I think the first thing we'll do is go ahead and pop this. This is going to be a very easy chore. Down into my container of soil. So let's go ahead and get that one out of the way. That's an easy one. And this has literally been lying on top of the soil for I don't know how long. So there's no need. This was not just cut. It's not a fresh cut, but everything is all healed off. So it's perfectly safe for me to put this down into some moist soil now. And hopefully the plant will send out some roots. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that one. And I think, believe it or not, I think this one might be a Haworthia aloe mix. I think there is such a thing. And I've heard that they're really hard to take care of, but as you can see, mine was horribly neglected, and maybe that's the key to success, but it has still done well. So hopefully it will do well with this repotting, and this will give it a chance to really revive and send out some roots so it can support the plant. There we go. I think that's good. And look at that soil, guys. I'm really thrilled with the soil, as you can tell. So let's just plant that right down in there. And hopefully, well, first of all, it looks a lot better than just having it lying on top of soil. So if all goes well, I'm going to pat it down gently. I don't want it too compact, but I do want the soil to touch the stem. So there we go. And I'll add a little bit more because now I've made it the soil level much lower after compaction. There we go. All right. All set here. Okay. Setting it up for success. And if I find that it's leaning at all, I can always add a big rock on either side. I like that look a lot better than a stake or anything like that with succulents. So there we go, guys. These little guys, I don't know how long it was that they didn't have any water, but they also have just the tiniest bit of soil. It's a miracle they've survived. So they're going to go in here, and I'm going to repot this messy situation that was hanging out of the side of my dish garden and not looking very pretty. So I'm going to tuck that in there, and I'm going to try to leave those babies toward the top so they can have a chance to grow out and branch, because I just think that's a miracle. Look at that. I hope you can see that little baby right there. Isn't that fantastic? The miracle of regeneration there. And I hope these all fit in here. I'm not messing with their soil too much. They're gonna grow right out just fine. And these soil blocks are just that. They're like a block of hard soil, even though I've watered them a couple times since my tour after I was horrified at my discovery. So some of these are gonna be standing up and some are lying down, but boy, is that a big improvement. That is certainly a big improvement, and it's got plenty of the old soil, so the soil culture won't be a shock, but the new soil is going around it, and I think that's all we need. I've carefully put it in there so they're all combined, and of course, if you're into succulents, you know you can just lay the leaf right on top. Any leaves that fall off, just lay them right on top, and they are going to make little babies for you. So I'm just adding some of this on top. I think it looks pretty as well, and it will really benefit the plant. I'll add some to the aloe Haworthia hybrid as well. There we go. Okay, right away, feel a lot better about this, guys. So I'll put that over here. And I'll show you an above view at the end so you guys can appreciate the it's going to be a huge improvement. It really is. So let's just do that before I forget. I'm going to put this, of course I'm making a huge mess, but this is also a nice white top dressing. I don't know, it just looks very nice. It's going to be extra calcium running into the plant every time you water it. Some of that calcium dust goes down into the potting soil, gives it a little extra nutrient. Okay, so we got the first two done. So let's start by filling a lot of this soil in. This is very, very moist, so I'm going to wait to water probably until next week. There's so much moisture in this mix right now. And I'm going to show you how this looks, because I want you to get a feel for how much grit I have actually put in here. It's going to be really, really a well-draining mix. Now that soil looks a whole lot better than what those poor plants were in. I'm going to set that one right here. We can always rearrange just to get the right mix. So I'm putting it on top of this moist and very fluffy soil. It's going to be ideal for rooting in, guys. I think it's going to do really well. Now this is one of the tallest ones. It's also done really well, so I think I'm going to put this towards the center. Let's just put that right here. That's going to look really nice. And I'm going to clean off any of the spent leaves. And if I bury that deeper, some of the roots will come off of this dry stalk here. So I'm going to put that, I'm going to bury that down kind of in the side here and make sure those roots, some of these plants that do have roots, I want to make sure that those go towards the bottom. That'll be good. They can spread out across the bottom. I have some, this one is so dry, but look how pretty that is. It's got such a delicate structure. So I definitely want to do some contrasting. I've got dark green. This one's sort of a light green at the moment. We'll see whether it stays like that or not, but I'm going to put that next to the dark green. But I'm tucking them in really close to one another. I think it'll help prop them up. And I think it's just good when you group them close together in a dish garden. I think it looks nice. I'm going to put this one, I think this one spreads quite a bit. Let's see what else we have here. So this is a really nice one to add in. I think I'll put this over here. It balances this one. I think we can definitely tuck this in right here. Dish gardens are a space saver too. Think about how much room all these pots would have if they were living separately. I have everything in here that I want, and I think I'm just gonna add some oyster grit in to hold some of these plants up. And when it's all finished and cleaned up, I'm going to show you what we've got. These are the finished results of my repottings and my dish garden revamp. And I'm feeling so much better about this situation. I know that all of these little babies have much better soil to grow in this spring. I feel good that they will spread their roots out in a nice, loose, well-draining mix and many more nutrients than the worn-out old potting soil. And then this has a new lease on life. These plants here that I have repotted, I think these are sedums. Let me know, guys, if you know the name. I just, when they get separated from their tags, I just can't remember. So tell me down below what you think that wonderful plant is, and hopefully it'll take right off in this wonderful little new pot of soil. And last but not least, look how great that looks. It's not lying on its side. It is set down into some soil to send out some new roots. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm hoping to show you in a couple months how they respond, and I hope it's a good reaction. I can't help but think they're going to be much happier now. And I hope you're having fun with your plants. It's time for us to go in now and all warm up, my plants and myself. So thanks for tuning in. Bye.